Hello and welcome to Absolute Trust Talk. This is our live streaming version of our podcast here at Absolute Trust Council, and we're very happy that you can join us today. The COVID pandemic required a lot of us to sort of up our technology game, including here at Absolute Trust Council. We used to do the podcast just as a podcast, and we would sit in a room with our headsets on and microphones and just record it. And then, because of the pandemic, we started doing this live stream. But we've all had to learn new apps. We've had to buy new devices just to do the normal things that we always used to do. And I personally have been very impressed with how my clients have been able to adapt and use Zoom. Very quickly, they figured that out, and we still use Zoom for most of our client meetings. And I'm very, very impressed every time a new client comes on and they got it. But Zoom is only one app, and for those of us, of a certain age, who weren't raised with a mouse in our right hand and a keyboard in front of us, sometimes technology isn't all that intuitive, and we need help. We need instruction. And fortunately, there is a solution. We're going to talk to our guest today, Ryan Kawamoto, about a particular resource that I just think is fantastic to help all of us with our tech issues, our tech challenges, and so much more. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest today, who I'm so grateful is here. And I'm so grateful that what he does is out there in the world. My guest, Ryan Kawamoto, is the Regional Program Manager for Older Adults Technology Services from AARP, and he'll explain that and their connection to Senior Planet, which is what I'm really excited to talk to you about. But he empowers older adults through technology at Senior Planet, where he's located in Palo Alto. He's the former executive director of UIKAI, Japanese American Community Senior Service of San Jose, and is the former chair of the Aging Services Collaborative of Santa Clara County. He's got a deep experience in the sort of elder senior community, and I appreciate that. He also serves as co-president of the Japantown Community Congress of San Jose, a board of directors member of the Asian Pacific Youth Leadership Project. He's a member of the Leading Age California Equity Cabinet and a community advisory board member of the Collaborative Approach for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Research and Education. He's a busy guy and does a lot of help and work in his community. He has an undergraduate degree in political science and visual arts from the University of California at San Diego, and also a master in public affairs from the Princeton School of Public and International Affairs. And another little fun fact, he wrote and published a 372-page graphic novel, and he worked in the California state legislature for a while. So he's got a fantastic background, and he's a fun guy. Welcome, Ryan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Kirsten. It's really great to be here.
Yeah, I'm so just thrilled and delighted to be able to share you with my audience and what you do. So why don't we start by you just explaining maybe the connection between Senior Planet and AARP, and just a little bit of background for our folks.
Sure, absolutely. So Senior Planet is our flagship program of older adults technology services from AARP, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, which we became a charitable affiliate of AARP in 2021, which means I'm an incredibly proud AARP employee. And as the regional program manager, I help to run and operate our Senior Planet from AARP space at Avenidas in downtown Palo Alto.
Okay. So that's the connection. That's how Senior Planet came to be. And let's just talk about what all Senior Planet does, what's available out there. Let's start with wherever you want to start.
Great. So there are actually 4 Senior Planet centers across the country. So we are a national organization. We're actually headquartered out of New York. Again, our Palo Alto space is in the heart of downtown Palo Alto, so at 450 Bryant Street. And this is where our Senior Planet programs offer online and in-person programming with partner sites. So that's where, in fact, we have a variety of different offerings, really meant to provide comprehensive support for any older adult looking for either lessons or special events related to technology and empowering themselves to use technology. So first and foremost, all this information can be found on our website, which is seniorplanet.org. And this is where I'd love to go into further detail about our programming.
Great. Okay. One of the really amazing things that you have at Senior Planet is you have a toll-free hotline, like the Butterball turkey hotline, but it's all year round, and people can just call up and say, "Oh, I'm stuck. Can you please help me?" So talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to talk about our hotline. It's toll-free across the country. Because I'm local in California, our hotline is live, and where you will call and talk to a live staff person from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. That telephone number is listed, but I'll just mention it. It's 888-713-3495. And it's really meant to be for any older adult that has any sort of tech support related question, whether it be, hey, there's a new update for my iPad. I had some questions about what should I be doing? What is it about? And this is where our team has actually been trained to either be able to look up the needed information or be able to really help you right over the phone.
That's fantastic. That I can't tell you how many times I've bumped into something and I just wish there was somebody to walk me through it. So that is a really fantastic resource, just that. But you also do people can schedule a one-on-one coaching session.
Absolutely. So for example, if your situation needs a little bit more attention and a little more in-depth exploration of a certain topic, we do offer one-on-one, we call them tech talks, but they're one-on-one, and again, they're free tech coaching sessions. They're either offered over the phone or over Zoom. And we actually have reopened our facility. We were closed down for the pandemic for about 2 years. We have reopened our facility in Palo Alto where you can actually come on site as well. We do require registration, and this is where you can email rsvp@seniorplanetavenidas.org. And again, this information is all on our website. But I'm really happy to announce too that we are offering these sessions in English, Mandarin, and Spanish. And we have two amazing Apple expert volunteers. I think if you combine their expertise, it's more than a decade of helping participants use Apple devices. In addition to having an amazing national partnership with Verizon, where their staff actually volunteers as tech coaches to do one-on-one sessions with our participants as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you have your Senior Planet volunteers and you've got Verizon people who volunteer.
And on that note, you don't need to have a Verizon plan or Verizon device in order to take advantage of those opportunities.
Okay. And they're not going to try and make you switch.
At least not that I'm aware of it.
No, that's not the point of it. They're just doing a good thing. Yeah. Okay. And I love that you've got to pre-register because we need to know what you need. We need to get you connected with the correct expert. And I love that you do it in multiple languages. That's another reason why you've got to pre-register. You need to know, okay, I need Spanish help. Yeah,
exactly. And that's where we ask if you can provide your name, email address, in addition to telephone number. So that way, if we do the tech talk over the phone, we can set everything up. And then additionally, it helps to provide what tech issue you're running into. So we can either research it beforehand. Of course, we can always try to figure out on the spot, but it helps. Especially, we had participants come in with questions related to Spotify, related to just how to use our iPad in general. And so sometimes it just helps to know, for example, if the conversation is going to be about Spotify, that we, have done all of our research.
Yeah.
And can assist with all the different features. Yeah.
Right. And those tech that tech coaching can be done in person. If someone sets that up, they could come to your place in Palo Alto with their device, and somebody is going to, hands-on walk them through it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why I just have to say our volunteers are superstars, because especially during this pandemic, when everything was over the phone or online, you can imagine it's not as easy as just saying, hey, tap that button. It's much more having to walk through visual steps verbally. So this is where it sometimes does make a lot more sense and can be a lot easier to come in. And especially too, if you just want that face-to-face time with one of our experts too, it can actually be a lot more productive in person.
Yeah. But, by doing it online or on the phone, you can reach a wider audience, people who don't necessarily want to drive to Palo Alto. But
absolutely. And that's where, again, our programming is really meant to be as accessible as possible. And so that's why, again, it's not only that we offer the phone conversation, but also the Zoom option. Okay.
And I know, because I actually have spent some time on your website, seniorplanet.org. You have every day, you have all kinds of courses happening. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm actually really excited to mention that now that we have reopened, we are offering in-person courses where our model is that we provide a class twice a week over a 10-week period. And again, this is in person in our space in Palo Alto. I'm excited to announce that starting October 10th, which will be our first, it's a Tuesday, it will be our first session of all 3 courses, but we're going to be offering a course called iPad Basics that really walks through, for users that might be new to iPads, the different features, even just how to turn on the device, how to use the microphone, how to use the camera, a lot of the basics. And for me, I've even learned that sometimes it's as an iPad user, it's also wonderful to get a refresher. And sometimes I even learn new features that I didn't know were possible on the iPad.
Well, they're always adding things too. You might have learned it, and now Apple rolled out another thing, and I can do that. Yeah.
And that's where, again, I love, this is a dream come true for me to work for older adult technology services from ARP, because we have a curriculum team in our headquarters where they are making sure that our books, our curriculum materials are always matching the latest devices and the most updated information. On that note, we do provide a book for each course. So this is meant to allow our participants to take notes while they're using the iPad. And then it allows them to have a reference after the course as well.
Yeah.
And on that note too, our curriculum team really goes above and beyond to make sure that our books are appropriate for older adults. So for example, the print is a little bit larger. Mm-hmm. We have relevant exercises in the book. So for example, it's one thing to say, here's the note app, take some notes. It's another thing to say, if you plan to go to the grocery store this week, why don't you use the note app to make a grocery list?
Make your grocery list.
And then when you're at the grocery store, pull it up if you have your iPad or iPhone and use it and give us feedback on how it works. And that's why it's really important that our classes are twice a week. So for example, in the fall, they'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because that allows a participant to come in, have the lesson plan, and then spend some time in the real world before coming back on Thursday where they can ask questions.
And then they go, okay, I didn't quite get this to work. What did I do wrong? Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Nice. I like that. Okay. So those are, you mentioned the iPad Basics.
Yeah. And so we're actually going to be offering Beyond the Basics, which is a more advanced course related to further iPad features. And then a third course called Money Matters. And with inflation, we know a lot of our older adult participants are on a fixed income. So for us, Money Matters is a really important course, not only for how to protect yourself when you're online, to stay away from fraudulent websites, but also how to get great deals. So for example, we talk about the Honey extension or the Honey app to make sure that you're getting the best price when you're shopping on Amazon, for example. And there are a couple other tips that we go through the course through the 10 weeks.
Nice. That is so wonderful. I need to take that. The Money Matters one, because I know there's so many things you can be doing out there, and who has the ability to figure that all out? But you just synthesize it. Here's what you need to know. I love that. Okay, so those are the new classes that you're going to be rolling out, but there are also a lot of online classes that I see on your website. Like, and not just technology, although, we appreciate that, but I see yoga classes or stretch classes. You've got a lot of stuff there.
So we do have 5 impact areas, and those are health and wellness. So exactly the yoga class, the stretch,
Yeah.
the morning stretch classes, the Tai Chi classes. We have social engagement sessions. We have financial security. For example, I just mentioned our Money Matters course.
Right.
Civic participation and creative expression. So in looking at those 5 different impact areas, we actually have 60 different topics, different lectures and workshops, ranging from how do you subscribe to a podcast, to what is cloud storage, or how do you use a rideshare app, or how do you use Google Maps? And so I'm really excited to also announce that a lot of these sessions are primarily in English, but we do offer some sessions in Mandarin, Spanish, and Vietnamese.
Yeah. Okay. So there's so much there available on your website, seniorplanet.org. You kind of have to go and look around. It's unbelievable how much you offer. I'm just going to say, I'm very impressed. As someone with a pretty robust website, I'm very impressed with your website.
Oh, thanks. Well, I can't take any credit for that. It's our amazing staff at our organization, but I'll let them know that you.
I am very impressed. Okay. All right. So in addition to everything that we've talked about so far, there are lectures and workshops. There's a newsletter. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So the best way to actually learn about our programming is to go to our website and subscribe to our e-newsletter. It goes out every Friday, every week. And this is where we announce all of our upcoming courses, classes, both in person and virtual. In addition to any special events that are coming up, we also have an amazing editor of our seniorplanet.org articles, where we actually have been interviewing celebrities, providing all sorts of information related to older adult tips on websites, finance, all sorts of different information that can be actually really helpful in staying up to date, not only on technology, but all sorts of other issues related to older adults. Right.
You mentioned you have more than one focus. You've got the health and wellness, and so there's a lot. I'm just so impressed. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm sorry. Okay. And videos. You've got a bunch of videos that are on your website. People can find them there. People can find them on YouTube.
Yeah. So if you actually go to YouTube and do a search for Senior Planet, we have a dedicated Senior Planet YouTube channel where we have a variety of recorded exercise sessions that we had mentioned previously, in addition to some very short videos on some how-tos. For example, how to connect to Wi-Fi or how to use Zoom, really quick 1-minute snippets just to help you get acclimated. In addition, we also provide weekly 2 sessions specifically on how to use Zoom. All of our programming is over Zoom. And so if you have any questions about Zoom, you can call our hotline. You can sign up for a tech talk. You can go to YouTube and watch our informational videos, or you can log into our twice weekly Zoom sessions where they really are focused on everything from how do you turn on your microphone, how do you use your camera, in addition to how do you host your own meeting. And so again, much like our courses, the reason why we offer 2 a week is in the first course or the first class, we want you to learn, listen, experiment, and then come back if you have any questions after you've tried out how to use Zoom. And that's or if you missed something, we can go over that information again in the second session each week.
Yeah. Okay. We've got some questions in the comments. So before I turn to those, I just want to ask, are there any features at Senior Planet that you want to talk about that I didn't ask you about?
No, you've been fantastic of really following our programming. One thing to note is that I'm excited to announce 2 events that are upcoming in September that are going to be in person, and we're actually partnering with ARP California. The first session is going to be on Google Maps on September 7th. And the second session is going to be on messaging apps on September 14th. Registration is required, and all that information is on our website. But really excited to walk through really two important apps that became even more important during the pandemic, and have just been amazing resources. And then just a final note too, that for us, our programming is really about making sure we're providing a safe, welcoming space. If you don't mind, I can share a story that, one of our Explore Tech lectures is on smart televisions and streaming. And what we've learned in that session is it's really meant to be a safe space. So for example, if you go to a retail store and you're interested in purchasing a TV, but you may not know what an HDMI hookup is, you may not know the needed resolution, the whole idea is to come to our session first, where then you can learn the vocabulary. You can also ask any questions at a very no pressure situation where, in fact, other participants will probably appreciate your questions because they'll probably have the same question themselves. Yeah. And that way, when you go into the retail store, you'll feel a little bit better and a little bit more prepared in understanding the vocabulary. And so again,
that is a really great, service that you're offering, because that's intimidating to me. And I'm somewhat tech savvy for my age.
Where were we supposed to learn this information, right? And exactly. So this is where it's really important that we recognize not only is it not your fault if you don't understand or have this information, but two, really it's our mission to make sure you're informed, especially when it comes to going online, to protecting your own personal information online. And so again, this is where we're really meant to provide that safe space for participants that not only learn a lot, but have fun.
Well, and I love how practical this stuff is. And because, you say Google Maps. Well, we all know what Google Maps is, but you can't assume that everyone knows how to use it and what all the features are. I think it just at that very basic practical level, it's fantastic what you're doing. I applaud you. So
thank you.
Let's get some of these questions answered. Okay, here's one. Do you have classes or any resource that teach people about some of the features in their home, like a smart thermostat or smart refrigerator or whatever? I don't even know.
Actually, we just started piloting a new program called the Tech Tank. And it's every Wednesday in person at our Palo Alto site, where the whole plan is to provide technology that you may never otherwise be exposed to. So currently we're offering sessions on how to use the Amazon Echo Show and how to use voice activation. And so again, it's just meant for you to come in because we also understand you might hear about these devices, you might be interested in a device, but you might want to actually experiment and use the device before making that purchase. And on top of that, it's also been really fun to experiment and use the device to say, what are the different features? How can this enhance your life? So everything from you're cooking and you're forgetting a recipe. You can say, Alexa, what is a recipe for chili? Or let's say your hands are, again, you're cooking, your hands are, dirty. You can say, Alexa, please turn on music or turn off the lights or turn on the lights. There's so many different applications for voice activation. This is where we really wanted to create a space for people to come in to learn about voice activation and then also experiment themselves to see if the device makes sense for them.
I really like that you get a chance. You haven't committed. You haven't invited Alexa into your home yet, but you get a chance to check it out. I love that. And the other thing is, especially those voice activated home managers or whatever you want to call them, they can really make a difference in an older person's life. I have seen that in my family. And so just kind of opening that up to the right demographic, that's just awesome. I'm so impressed. Okay, I got another question. This is beautiful. Kirsten should have asked this question. Do you need to be an AARP member to use the Senior Planet services?
Excellent question. You do not need to be an AARP member. In fact, we encourage everyone to visit our website. Again, all of our programming is free. All of our programming is meant to be as accessible as possible and as affordable as possible, hence that it's free. So excellent question. You do not need to be an AARP member.
Yeah. See, you would think that a really qualified interviewer would have asked that question right in the beginning. So there you go.
Oh, no. And it's an excellent question because I feel embarrassed that having done some outreach presentations, I should have thought that.
No. That's my job. Okay. But thank you. We have an audience member who's right on top of it. And they asked. Okay. So, well, the next question is, where do you get the instructors for so many courses? You did talk about you have some Verizon people who volunteer. Maybe you can address that question.
Yeah, great question. So we do have, again, I'm an AARP employee, and all of our instructors, we call them technology trainers, are AARP employees as well. But because we're AARP employees, it means that we have vast resources and support and training from AARP that I just have to say is just the best and top notch. On that note, if they go to oats.org, OATS.org, we do have job postings, and that's where you can see local postings for any positions related to older adult technology services. Those job postings will actually take you to links connected to the overall AARP job listing website as well. And so this is where we're very much integrated, especially in how we hire.
Okay, good. I think that's the end of the questions there. So thank you for answering those, Ryan. And I'm just going to, first of all, seniorplanet.org, anything you want to know, you're going to find it there. So you check it out. You will be impressed as I am. And it's a charitable organization. So you can also go there and figure out how to donate if that's your inclination, but you don't have to. All of this stuff is free. That's a big part of the reason why I love this. I love free stuff, and I love sharing free stuff with my audience. So, Ryan, anything else you want to highlight before we sign off here?
I just maybe want to end with one of my favorite testimonials we ever received about our programming, because I feel like our participants actually provide the best feedback and stories about our own programming. And it's just that during the pandemic, our participant stated that with just a click of a button, they're able to log into a whole new world of programming and support online. And they're able to do it in the comfort of their home in their pajamas. And for me, that speaks to everything about convenience, making sure we're accessible, and making sure that our tagline is aging with attitude. And so our whole mission is to empower our older adult participants in any way possible and to enhance their lives through technology. And so again, all the programming that we mentioned has been really thought out, all with the mission of making sure we're helping as many people as possible every day. And so again, I just want to thank you so much, Kirsten, for helping us promote our services, in addition to having me here today.
You are most welcome. I'm very honored to have you on, and I'm so delighted to be able to share this with my audience. It's what you're up to is really fantastic. Thank you for being here, and thank you all in my audience for being here today, for listening, whether you're listening live or after the fact. I am very much grateful to all my listeners, and I look forward to connecting with you next time.
Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Absolute Trust Talk Live. If you enjoyed listening in, then don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you may listen by searching Absolute Trust Talk. While you're there, we would also love for you to leave us a review. And then why not share your favorite episodes with family, friends, or colleagues too? You can find all of our shows and corresponding show notes by visiting absolutetrustcouncil.com. You'll also find a variety of other free resources, including our ebooks, videos, blogs, presentations, and more. If you need help with your estate planning or administration, we also offer a free discovery call to help get the process started. You can find more information on booking your session by visiting absolutetrustcouncil.com/scheduling. Don't forget to keep an eye out for our next live episode in 2 weeks. If you join us for the broadcast, you can submit questions during the show. But if not, don't worry. You can always get in touch with us by sending a quick message to info@absolutetrustcouncil.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you soon.